Tesla doing pretty good here today. Again, it's above its support level, and resistance level. What's become support now, 401.52. It's about $10 above that. Pretty nice setup on it. And Roblex looks pretty good too. It needs to stay above 59 on RBLX, but I like it. SPY is just basically looks like a stretched piece of rope here. Again, we took loss on IONQ. Coin's up about $17 now. Never know with that thing. Got the YouTube up and going. Hey, William in there. Good morning. Pretty dead day in the market. Here's the SPY right here, and you can see this. Basically, it looks like it's just putting a straight line across. Had a SPY Super System trade this morning early. Never really produced much. Produced probably about 25 or 30 cents, and then came right back to the VWAP. And now it's just been moving sideways across here. Triple Q is looking pretty much the same. IWM a little bit weaker than the overall market right here. Again, I like Roblex long. It's pulling back right now. The daily chart's nice though. Also, Netflix looks good, but very expensive stock. Options are unbelievably expensive on Netflix. And Tesla looks good as it stays above the 401 level. Apple too has been trading pretty nicely today. Little gap up and a nice little move in Apple.
Commentary out by the Atlanta Fed with their November sticky CPI annualized at 3.8% versus 3.6% month over month.
Again, Tesla's still looking pretty good. It's staying well above its support level here. This breakout that failed the other day, right here, tried to break out, failed. Went right down to the support level right here. Bounced up off yesterday, made a nice move back through, and came right back to the support level again, or the resistance level. And then today, it's bounced right off of it, and looks pretty nice. I mean, this is a pretty nice setup in Tesla right here. Again, here's Apple. Apple looks pretty nice as well. Putting in basically a doji sandwich right here. Big green candle, doji, and then putting in another green candle. It's blue. I have it blue because the Bollinger Bands are expanding here, which means it's breaking out of compression. And Roblex looks pretty nice here as well. And you can see coin is bounced up today about $17.50. All right, again, very, very slow market, very, very dead slow market. Not a place to be taking trades and risking any money at all. If any, make it very small. This is just garbage. Again, I took one SPY super system trade this morning, made about 10 cents on it, $10 a contract. That's it. It's just been much too flat. IWM has been the weakest of the indexes, but this white line right here is a pivot point. It came down just below the pivot point, bouncing. Is the VWAP right there, the pink line, volume weighted average price, and the 15 right there, the little red line. Those are our support and resistance levels. Just the market's not doing anything. I mean, it's just not doing anything. We had the CPI this morning. It seemed like everybody was waiting for the CPI. The CPI come in as expected, and that gave the market a little bit of a relief gap up this morning, and now it hasn't done anything since then. And the volume's awful. Terrible. Got 7 million shares traded on the SPY today. Yesterday it traded 37 million, and that was below normal, below average. So not much here. I mean, this is really this is about as boring as it can get on the market. Trading the indexes, they're just doing nothing. Again, there's a few stocks that look good. Roblex looks good for a breakout. Again, for a swing type trade. So does Tesla. It looks like good for a swing type trade, as long as it stays above that 401. All right, so I'm just looking through charts, looking for any potential type of stocks, but the market's not doing much for us at all. The Apple's pulling the market up by the bootstraps. Yeah, Apple's having a pretty good day, but so is Google. Google's up today 3.5%, and Amazon also gapped up this morning. It's up 2%. So some of the tech stocks are doing pretty well. Nvidia is actually up now. It pulled down this morning a little bit. It's just bounced up, but it's still below its algo line right here. AMD terrible, very weak. The chip stocks are pretty weak. Bitcoin stocks are bouncing today a little bit. Coin's up about almost 6%. Mara is up about almost 6%, and Riot is also up about 8.5%. So a little bit of a bounce. Carl, SPY hitting a ceiling around 607. Yeah, it's not. It's this is pretty mind numbing. Really, this is really mind numbing. Even if I zoom in on these candles, this is what we're seeing. This is awful. So again, just not an awful lot to trade. I do like Tesla again, and I like Tesla long still here, and I like Roblox long here. I like Netflix, but they're too expensive. Roblox, I think taking some calls on Roblox would be a decent trade right now. Again, I'm not going to post anything right now until I get some market cooperation, but I do like Roblox. And if I was going to use it, I would use. Let me see. I would use the January 10th $56 calls. They're going for about $5.15, I think, right now for Roblox. Again, we took a loss on IONQ. It's bounced up a couple about 20 cents since then, but the setup is terrible. All right, let's see if we get some questions here. We do have some. Doug, on Tesla, would I wait for a pullback after the breakthrough? This is where the coaching really helps. On Tesla, I mean, it's very difficult to say, but this is what I feel like on Tesla. It's broken up through this level here, and then pull back here, and then pull back, and then today it tested it. Now it's going. I would say that this is a good long right now. I think that that the likelihood is it's going to keep going. If you were in it, you know, you can suffer a pullback to about 401. But I think that this is a confirmed break. That's the way I would look at it right now. Now I may change my mind at the end of the day depending on what it does, but this looks like a confirmed breakout. And Roblex is again, this is early. This is a breakout on Roblex. See how it went through here and pulled back right to the 8, and now it's moved again going above it. It needs to hold that 59 today. If it breaks below there, then you've got another failed breakout. But I still like the setup on this one. Netflix also looks really nice, but it's very expensive. Walmart setup was pretty nice here today, and CRM also is a pretty nice setup as a PBO, a pullback. You get a nice gap up on earnings, a nice pullback to the 8, and starting to bounce here. But I would say Tesla was a potential long here right now. Carly made 21 cents in the SPY super system. That's pretty good slow motion money is right. That's twice as much as I made on it today. Did I dump AMLX? Nah, I'm still on AMLX. It's still in the gap. It's down below the 50. It's still inside the gap. So I'm still in it. It's not worth much. Oracle with a nice bounce up here today. This was one for a strangle. I looked at it for a strangle yesterday. It was pretty expensive. It was about $359 a contract for a strangle on it. The 175, 177.50, but it just popped over 181 right through the 50-day moving average, and that strangle now went from 359 to 459. So it went up a whole dollar on that, so that actually was a pretty good trade. It's tough to even on strangles. It's pretty hard right now because the market's not moving much. So there's not a lot of movement in the indexes that are moving these stocks much. So strangles and straddles need to have decent moves. But Oracle turned out to be okay. Yeah, SPY with a little bounce. Again, we went blue. We went yellow to blue right here. This is SPY super system entry right there after basically the VWAP and the 15. They're kind of right together. And this is a standard deviation line. It's going to be a little bit of resistance, but not a lot. This is probably a better look than we had earlier because we've had a little bit of compression here, and it's trying to break out of compression, so that's not bad. Triple Qs also looking exactly the same. And IWM just stinks. It's just not doing anything. So SPYs and Qs both look decent. We'll see what the SPY does. Of course, it moved up to get that. I'm not taking it because I'm afraid it's going to run into this, but I'm just watching it right now. I did take some Roblex, the ones I talked about. But again, I'm not going to post any more swings right now because we need some market here. to help us. And so they calling them high probability trade setups right now is kind of a fallacy. Tesla also getting a little choppy here. SPY just easing up. I serve a little bounce $2 here today. All right, just kind of wandering around looking for charts here as the SPY popped up pretty nicely. This was actually a pretty nice. I didn't take this one. This was a pretty ended up being a pretty nice SPY super system setup move here, right here. Nice little move up. Again, I did take some Roblex calls for January 10th. And I still like Tesla. I think Tesla set up pretty nicely here. Carl, is the bearish IWM move something to look at if the price stalls near the VWAP? You know, the IWM has been pretty weak. I mean, the market action today is awful, but I'm really I'm not taking any more SPY super system trades till I get again. The SPY worked up nicely, went right to that standard deviation line pretty much. The IWM is the problem is it's green for the day, and it would need to break down below. I would need to see it break down below this pivot point, and then come back up to like the 15, and then roll over again. I don't like it at all right now, to tell you the truth. Q's are trading just like the SPY is. These are really quick trades. If you're trading these, you've got to kind of, again, it's just like yesterday and the day before. When you're in these trades, you've got to be very nimble, and you have to be very passive in your targets for profits. You can't expect long runs right now. It's just the market's just not trading like that. Again, Tesla's just churning around here, and Roblex still looks pretty decent. It goes Tesla to an all-time high. Very nice. Yeah, I like Tesla. They aren't cheap, but it's a nice setup. Okay, Nick. Nick is in the YouTube room. Yeah, I'll go over the what I'm talking about on the chart over here. Again, the chart looks pretty busy, but the key here is on SPY Super System. If we're trading just the indexes, the SPY super system methodology. We're just trading this index right here. This is the current time frame momentum. This is the multi-time frame momentum. These are the two I'm most interested in for swing trades. This is the one I trade off of intraday trades off the SPY, the Qs, and IWM. So this is the current time frame momentum. This pink line right here is called the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. That's a support level, support and resistance level. The next one is this 15 EMA. This is the green line right here. This is a 15 EMA. So the only thing I use on intraday trades when I'm trading the indexes, the SPYs, the Qs, and IWM off the 5-minute chart, is I use this. It needs to be green or blue for long, red or yellow for short. It needs to be bouncing off the VWAP, or it needs to be bouncing off the 15 or going up through it. In other words, this was an entry right here on the SPY super system because we went from yellow, which is bearish, to blue, which is bullish. We bounced above the 15 EMA with this little arrow here. This is called a pop symbol, or a pop out of the box symbol. This tells us that we're breaking compression, as you can easily see. So that becomes an entry for the SPY super system, and it's been running up pretty nicely actually since there. I didn't take this one because it was been so choppy, but that's actually turned out to be a pretty nice trade. So yeah, there's a lot of lines and everything on there, but again, this is on the SPY super system. All you need to do is worry about this, the VWAP, and the 15 EMA. That's it. Dotted line is a trend dots. I don't use it. And the shaded area right here is a dynamic compression zone that gets created when the market's in compression. And the pink dots, pink arrows here is a breakout of compression, or we call them pop symbols. That's it. That's all you really need if you're just doing the 5 minutes. Now, if you're trading off the daily chart for like swing trades, then you need to shift to the daily chart, and then you look at like if you're looking, like I'm looking at Roblex or BLX, and what it's got here is it's trying to break out of a pullback. So I've got current time frame momentum in green, but multi-time frame momentum is switching back and forth. But I still like the setup because technically it's set up very nicely here. And so what I do is for the technical setups is I go over here and I switch to my TC2000 chart, and I look at Roblex here, and I really like the fact that it's pulled down, bounced off this 8. This is the 8 exponential moving average, the white, and the 15 is the yellow or the orange. And this is a high volume breakout right here, 59. See how that line broke through there today? That's the level it needs to hold if you stay in this trade. So on swing type trades, we're looking at the daily chart, and for intraday trades, I'm looking at the 5-minute and focused on just the VWAP and the 15 EMA along with the current time frame momentum. I hope that helps a little bit, Nick. Ed, you're talking about the SPY super system? Yeah, it targets 10 to 20. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the day we've got. Yesterday, I mean, I took 4 trades yesterday, and I ended up $45 a contract. So yeah, I was averaging just a little over 10 cents because it was a crappy day. The market wasn't going anywhere. I traded 1 today. I'm up 10 cents, $10 on it. But the key is to get in very close to the SPY, to the VWAP or the 15 EMA, so your downside risk is really minimized. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate that. Appreciate the feedback. In SPY, moving up. I see. I can't take any trades here on the SPY because it's too far from the 15. My support level is way down here, so I have to wait for the SPY to pull back to either here or right to the VWAP and bounce. And I assume the Qs are probably looking exactly the same. Yeah, they're a little bit closer to the 15 than the SPY is. And the IWM is bouncing up through the VWAP here. hesitate to take the IWM long. I'll show you why. I hesitate to take the IWM long because if I look at the daily chart right here on my TC2000 chart, see the white line right there? That's the 58 exponential. It just went through there, but see this resistance level right there, 238.84. So it's got some resistance here. It gets through there, that's a different story. But right now, it's not my favorite one. Right now, the Qs are my favorite because they're the closest to the 15 on the 5-minute chart, and this is a nice breakout in the Qs. That's an all-time high in the Qs today, by the way. It's hard to believe they're getting into all-time highs with the crappy price action we've had lately, but the Qs moved up pretty nicely here today. And you know, most of this move today was in the gap, when the gap up. That's where most of the gains came from. Coming up about 10 minutes to 12 here. Rolf, you can't see the name of the third bar. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Yeah, this is a signal B. It's the modified Laguerre current time frame momentum. I just call it current time frame momentum. Again, it's momentum with the divergence stripped out. It's pure momentum, and that's what it's called. This is the multi-time frame. This is the current time frame. Multi-time frame, current time frame. This is the trend, and this is a derivation of money flow, which I very rarely use. The compression zone is something that the system creates, Nick. The dynamic compression zone, this one right here, the compass of the SPY super system software creates that, just like it creates these arrows. I don't draw any lines on here. I draw lines on my TC2000 chart. I don't draw any lines on my TOS screen here, my Thinkorswim screen with the SPY super system on here. I don't do that. If I want to add anything to it, I would just go in and put it in through the studies, but I leave it pretty much the same. This is SPY starting to pull back again. Just not a thrilling day for trading. Again, Roblex holding 59, which is what we want. And Tesla starting to pull back again, back to 411, but still a nice setup in Tesla. Being very selective about any kind of trades I put on today. I did take Roblex. That's the only thing and I took a SPY Super System trade this morning for a quick $10 profit per contract. Pretty small. Roblex, nice grind here. Tesla looks pretty good. It's very volatile, of course. This thing moves around a lot. So it's right up today about $10. If you take any Tesla calls, I would suggest going at least into next week, so that you can withstand any kind of pullbacks, because it could pull back to 401. It could pull back to 401.50. That's the support level that it's been moving up through the last couple of days. Of 5 minutes to 12. welcome to all the folks in the live the YouTube that we're running right now. Nick, yeah, this is the options room. This isn't the Discord room. This is the options trading room. But if you're in the options trading room, we have a Discord room as well. But this is in my option trading room. This is where I keep the chart up, the SPY Super System chart up, the software up all day long. I switch back and forth to different trades that we're looking at and different symbols. But yeah, I keep this up all day, and this is where I post my trades. And we talk about lots and lots of trades in here. I mean, everybody can make recommendations on trades. They've suggested trade. We take a look at it. And a lot of the trades we take that actually work out really well are coming from our members, because we've got so many people in here now that are using this software that shows us high probability trade setups when the institutions are in there. So yeah, this is the room, which you can join the room, and I have alert service too. You can join the room, and you can see this all day long. And the nice thing is about if you can't be in the room all day, but you can still trade the SPY Super System, because they're quick trades. You're only in one at a time. You're in for maybe 2, 3, 5, maybe 10 candles on a good day, and then you're out. And then if you own the software, of course, if you own the SPY Super System, or what's used to be called the Compass software, and you put it on your TOS, then whether you're in the room or not in the room, you can always see it. You can trade off of it yourself, but if you're in the room, you're going to see it right here. SPY pulling back down now, back toward the 15. And Moderna also moving up here. We're short Moderna right here. Again, it's still a short on the daily chart, but it's bounced today a little bit. It's still below the 8 and the 15. I still like it short here. Again, I did take some Moderna off today at 4:30. I had some orders in there at the end of the day yesterday that I forgot to change this morning to 4:50, and they got filled at 4:30. But I've still got a bunch of them in there, and I've got sell orders at 4:50. You're welcome, Nick. Appreciate your following us in YouTube. Again, I run the YouTube will stay up for about another 20 minutes or so, and then we take it down. It's just a place for people who want to get exposed to the system we've got here and how it works, so that they can see how it works. Then I took some Roblex calls. Kind of watching Tesla. William, you grabbed some Tesla, January 400s. Yeah, so in the money. That's not bad. January 400s. You're out in time, so you've got quite a lot of time. Only paying $7 extra premium. That's not too bad considering the expiration. No, it's not. That's pretty good. You know, Tesla made an all-new all-time high today. It's important to understand that most stocks, when they go through an all-time high, they continue to go up. They continue to go higher. You know, it's not 100% of the time, but most of the time they will continue higher. And, you know, like in the SPY, it puts in all new all-time highs, but then pulls back. But then it eventually goes back to them again. Same thing with the Qs. The Qs get to a new all-time high a few days ago at 526.72, pulled right back to the 8, and today the high is 529.35. It went right through it. So it's put in a new all-time high. SPY has not yet. All-time high in the SPY, 609.07. And today's high, 607.87. So the Qs are outperforming the SPY a little bit on the daily chart. IWM is the weakest of them all. But trying to make up a little ground here. What's my strike on Roblex, Abu? Let me tell you. My strike on Roblex is I took the January 10th 56 calls. January 10th, 56 calls. So about $3 in the money. Again, I always take in the money calls on any position I take, unless it's a lottery or something. But typically they're in the money, unless I'm doing a spread. But that's straight put, straight calls. I use in the money. I usually try to go out, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that, looking for deltas of around 65 to 70. Doesn't mean I'm going to stay in it that long. If Roblex takes a big move up today, I may take some profits on it. You get that, Abdu? The strike on Roblex 56 for January 10th. There's a SPY. Pulled right back. Didn't quite get to the 15 and bounced here again. Too far away for me to take. The Qs were a little bit closer. And it might have been a little bit better choice here if you were trying to trade the SPY super system. Yeah, that was a decent one. Whoop, on the Qs. Right here, coming off the 15. That's a good one right there. Right to the 15, touched it, moved up. Now you're getting a break again. So now it's getting a little extended because you put in a pretty big green candle. So you have to remember, if you take it up here, your stop's way down here. On the indexes, that's a pretty good drop. Roblex with a nice little pop here. Got to keep an eye on my calls. I paid $5.30 for them. They're going for $5.60 right now. I'll probably, if I can get those up to $6.30 today, I'll probably peel them off and then re-enter it or re-look at it tomorrow. Reevaluate it tomorrow on this breakout, because the market's not giving me any warm fuzzies about the fact that it's just going to keep on rallying. I don't know. Qs look decent, and of course Roblex is in there, but I'm going to put a sell order in on it anyway. At 6, I put it up $1 over what I paid for it. So if I can get $1 in a day, I'll be happy. $100 a contract. Again, I put a sell order in Roblex at $6.35. I put a little extra in there. I paid $5.30 for it. I put a sell order in at $6.35. Trading right now at about $5.80, $5.75. I finally made it up to this standard deviation line right here. Nice move in the Qs here. This was a nice SPY super system setup. Notice current time frame green. Stock just coming along the 15 here. Hits the 15, bounces off of it, and then pops up. Nice little setup on the Qs. Doug, would I repeat what I said about a pretty good drop when taking where and before the stop below? And I was talking about the right here, the Qs. If it when it bounced off the 15 right here, even right here for that matter, this was a good entry. But if you're chasing it up here, you've got this is where you are right now, 529.64. This is where your stop is down, about 529, what maybe 528.90 or something. That's a pretty big drop in the Qs. That's a big hit if you took it after it got to the top of this candle. That's why being quick when it breaks above these levels is important. Because if you're chasing it up here, the 15's moving up, so it might catch up with it eventually. But you've got a fairly significant risk on the trade when you grab it up that high. Oh, William, that $7 should have been 17 in the Tesla. Yeah, that seems a little bit better in line. But on the Qs after the pop out of the box, do you take the entry? I don't take the entry up here. No, I'm taking it here before. I'm taking it on this bounce right here. This is where if I was going to enter it, this is where I would see. As soon as I see this bounce off the VWAP, if I'm watching it off the 15, this is where I take it. Otherwise, if I'm taking I could take it at the beginning of this candle, but I can't wait till the end of this 5-minute candle and then take it. I mean, you can, but you've got more downside risk. See, SPY, same thing on the space. SPY never really got close enough for me to take it. See, when it bounced here, it was already quite a ways away, so. To avoid a big loss, if it were to drop after the breakout, the entry would still be in compression. Yeah. Carl, would I mind explaining the thick vertical up arrow? These, you're talking about this, the pink ones here? Violet covered arrow, that is. Yeah, these are what's called pop signals, that pop out of the box. They basically indicate a compression break. There's a compression break, and they continue to show a continuation of the compression break. When you get that, you're getting a compression break. Now the compression here was here, the compression on this one was up here, but those are telling you it's a compression break, which is kind of what you want when you're making an entry. If you can get a compression break, it's very useful. I don't necessarily need them to get into a SPY super system. I could have got into a SPY super system a lot of times without them, because a lot of times they're a little bit late. Like right here, I could take it, but I wouldn't. I could get in right here at the beginning of this candle, but I wouldn't want to get in up here. I mean, this is a pretty decent move here. All right, if you're looking at that, that's 529.15 to 529.50. That's a pretty big move. Is in the Qs. Yep, those are pop signals, Carol. Pop out of the box, they tell you about compression breaks. It's just kind of an additional confirmation of a breakout. Roblex, again, this has been moving pretty nicely. I get in back here somewhere, and it's moving up nice. Again, I put a sell order in a Roblex in case it gets there today. I don't know if it will or not. I paid $5.30 for it. It's trading at $5.83. I have a sell order in at $6.35. I took a loss at IONQ. I probably could have stayed in a little bit longer because it's bounced up, but the daily chart is still not good. I mean, this is why I get out of this. If it bounce backs up, fine. But again, this is too much bearishness for me to stay in the trade. So I took it off down here. It's bounced back up again. You could have pulled out about another 45 cents out of it. But I just don't see any point in staying in the trade. Pretty nice little move in Roblex here. Again, I got a 635 sell order on it. It's up to 592 right now. I'm getting at 530, so I'm up about $60 a contract on it. Pretty nice. Took some again. I took Roblex calls. They're doing pretty nicely here. I got a sell order on them. You know, if I get a break, I might be able to get out of them today for a profit. I'm trying to, but I got a sell order in there. If I can make that, if I can get to 635 today from 530, I'll take them. Even though that setup is still really nice on the daily chart for a swing, I'm not going to turn down that much profit, and I can always re-enter it later. Tesla a little bit choppier than Roblex. Roblex is very nice. Walmart also setting up pretty nicely. Apple's been pretty strong all day. It's pulled back a little bit here to the VWAP, but not bad. So I'll be looking for some SPY super system trades here at some point if we get a pullback. You see the SPY's coming right back toward the 15 here. Again, that standard deviation line right here is actually offering some resistance, as you can see. Fifteen's moving up pretty nicely. Q's very close to it here. Running into a little resistance now. All right, about 12:25. I got about 5 more minutes. I'm going to get some lunch here, and I'll close the YouTube feed at that time. About 5 minutes. Again, I want to thank everybody from YouTube for coming over and watching the room here today. Been a pretty sluggish day in the market, but had a SPY super system trade that I made one that I made some money on. I'll be looking for some more this afternoon. A couple of folks in the room made a lot more than I did on some of those. And I took Roblex long for a swing out into January 10th. Looking to take profits if we get a nice little bounce in today. FI, am I still bullish, Terry? Yeah, I am still bullish on it. I'm going to hang in it. It's right up to the 50 right now. Again, I believe that this, my whole thesis on this particular stock was we took it up here when it was nice and bullish. It pulled down on the fact that the CEO was tapped to go to the Social Security Administration. So they're going to lose a CEO, but I think this is a big overreaction to it personally, and so I bought some more. I have the 210s and I bought the 200s, so I've got the 200s and I've got the 210s, and I still like this long. I know technically it's not a great setup, but you have to assume that this setup has been created by this news. So I'm going to give it time. I'm out to January 17th on it. But you have to use your own judgment on those things, Terry. Technically, it's not a bullish setup. Not yet. Gets above the 50, that'll be a little bit more convincing. SPY pulling back here. So I'm just going to wait. Get a little bit of sell-off here. Again, the Qs went to a new all-time high, so there's likely to be some profit taking here. All right, I'm going to grab some lunch. So again, I want to thank all everybody in the YouTube group for coming in and watching the trading today, such as it was. Market was pretty slow, but again, thanks so much for being here. I got to shut it down now, and we'll be back again tomorrow around 11.